I'm Mary Reese from the New Jersey Principals and Supervisors Association and the Foundation for Educational Administration. I'm really happy that David Pogue has joined us at our fall conference. We once had David about 10 years ago, and we're really glad that he returned to talk with us about technological advances. And we have a couple questions for him. First of all, David, we're all educators. Our members, principals, supervisors, assistant principals, directors, and we have teachers and superintendents in the audience as well. So one of the questions you mentioned in your presentation was, with all that's happening, well, I mean, how do we keep up? What are we supposed to do with all this? So what do you think the answer is for those of us who are in education?
Right. I mean, everybody over 25 has this question, right? It's so much technological change coming so fast, and it's not slowing down. It's not steadying off. It's accelerating. You know, it started with the smartphone, and now it's launched into every possible realm. And for an educator, I would guess that it's especially difficult because the kids at home are using technologies that have not yet entered the schools. Schools and businesses and governments are constantly trying to keep up with what's happening in the grassroots and how they can harness what's good and screen out what's bad. So it's a constant struggle. It will always be a struggle. All I can say is that I speak at a lot of conferences like this one, and this is where teachers who have managed to harness it and use it as forces of good, personal technology for good rather than distraction and bad, they find ways to do it, and they share them at conferences like this. So if anything, I would say that educators seem to find clever ways to use it. I mean, look how, you know, iPads have entered the classroom, and Skyping and you know, in certain cases using Wikipedia. I mean, there are ways to embrace things without ruining the educational experience and, in fact, enhancing it. It will always be a struggle, but the idea is constantly be aware, share when possible at events like this or through the web. Remember that all of this is generational. So older people have a harder time with new technology than younger people. It's always been true. It will be true of me. It will be true of our children. So just if you're older and feeling overwhelmed, remember that the younger teachers who seem to be mastering it better, they will have their time too.
So I know that you worked at the New York Times for many years. I enjoyed reading your columns, and now you're at Yahoo. So you've researched technological advance most of your professional life. So what do you see in the future?
Well, it's very hard to predict. I mean, if anyone could predict what's coming, they would be billionaires right now, and Steve Jobs was apparently the only guy who could do that. But in the short term, there are certain trends that are coming up really fast, and one is automation, autonomous everything, self-driving cars, self-flying drones, actual walking bipedal robots like we've imagined since the 60s. They're now here, you know, for rescue operations and I'm sure military operations. Amazing the stuff that's happening with automation. And it's trickling down to us too in terms of remote control. They're calling it Internet of Things, right? Being able to control things in your life from your phone. So change your lights, open your door locks, garage doors, heating and air conditioning from thousands of miles away. Becoming a very big thing and will be. And then the other huge explosion is in the ability of technology to be worn on us and to track our medical stats, which to me is among the most mind-blowing things of all. Because right now we're trying to get more healthy and we're trying to cure disease blind. I mean, everybody says, oh, to lose weight, it's easy. Just burn more calories than you take in. Well, yeah, but you don't know how many you're burning and you don't know how many you're taking in. So how can you possibly succeed? So I have this Fitbit, and if you're willing to record your food, which is a pain, but it'll do things like scanning the barcode of the food package and it knows. If you're willing to do that, then it shows you a graph each day. You've burned this many calories and you've eaten this many calories. And as long as this graph is lower than this one, you will lose weight. It's kind of brilliant. And they're getting ever more sophisticated. Now it's not just activity and calories they're tracking, but your sleep, your heart rate, your temperature, the sun and the noise you're exposed to. For diabetics, glucose levels, oxygen levels, absolutely astonishing. And it used to be that we never could get this information without a visit to a doctor and very expensive equipment. Now we're wearing it.
I remember about 20 years ago at one of our fall conferences, we talked about the idea of a phone that could do everything. Who would have thought? But 10 years thereafter, we wound up with iPhones and droids, and we talked about that a lot today too. But one thing I was wondering, you mentioned the DARPA Robotics Challenge. Who won?
A team from Singapore won, actually. South Korea won, yeah.
Wow.
And that robot performed all 8 of these search and rescue tasks flawlessly within a half an hour without skipping one or falling. It's just, and these things didn't exist 2 years ago. It's really hard to make a robot balance on 2 feet, really hard. We have eyes and soles of our feet and our inner ear all to help us balance. For robots, that all has to be invented, so it's coming along really quickly.
Well, we thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you before another 10 years at one of our conferences.
That would be my pleasure.
Thanks, David.